Welcome to Heroes. In a startling revelation that intertwines the threads of history with modernity, archaeologists in Nuremberg, Germany, have unearthed a mass grave with an estimated 1,000 to 2,000 skeletons. This discovery, made during a routine survey for a new retirement home construction site, has shed new light on the scale of the Black Death's devastation during a 17th century epidemic. Initially mistaken for casualties of World War II, the skeletons were later confirmed through radiocarbon dating and historical analysis to be victims of the plague from between the late 15th and early 17th centuries. This article delves into the echoes of the past, the science employed in the analysis, and the implications for future urban development. Archaeologists discovered a mass grave with up to 2,000 skeletons in Nuremberg, initially thought to be related to World War II, but later identified as victims of the Black Death from the 17th century. The site was found during a survey for new construction, and the excavation has become one of the largest mass graves ever uncovered in Europe. Radiocarbon dating was crucial in determining the age of the skeletons, placing them squarely in the time frame of the 1632 to 1633 plague epidemic. Forensic techniques and 3D illustrations have been used to reconstruct the faces of some victims, providing a poignant connection to the human stories behind the historical figures. The discovery poses significant challenges for urban development, as the high density of burials complicates construction plans and prompts a re-evaluation of the city's historical landscape. Echoes from the past. Unearthing the plague's legacy routine survey reveals grim secrets. In the heart of Nuremberg, a routine survey intended to be just another day in the field for archaeologists turned into a momentous discovery. No one anticipated the uncovering of a mass burial site, a silent testament to a bygone era's calamity. The excavation, led by Julian Decker and his team at In Terra Veritas, revealed a startling number of human remains, each skeleton a bearer of history's untold stories. The site, now known as the mass grave in Nuremberg, was initially thought to be a remnant of more recent conflicts. However, as the layers of earth were peeled back, the true origin of the bones became apparent. They were not casualties of war, but likely victims of the bubonic plague that swept through Europe in the 17th century, leaving a trail of death in its wake. The surprise was quite overwhelming when we figured out what was hidden there. The discovery has since sparked a flurry of activity among historians and archaeologists alike, eager to piece together the narrative of these long-forgotten individuals. The mass grave, with its hundreds of skeletons, poses as many questions as it answers, beckoning a deeper dive into the past to unravel the mysteries it holds. The astonishing scale of the burial site. As the earth yielded its somber secrets, the scale of the plague mass burial site in Nuremberg began to unfurl like a dark tapestry from the past. The sheer number of skeletons, surpassing 1,000, hints at a narrative of despair and urgency that once swept through the city. The excavation, initially a routine survey, morphed into a monumental discovery, revealing a chapter of history written in bones and silence. The ground, undisturbed for centuries, was a silent witness to the calamity that once gripped the city. Now it speaks through the remains, telling a tale of a community overwhelmed by a relentless plague. The site's dimensions are staggering, and as the count of skeletons climbs, it may well become the largest scientifically excavated mass burial in European history. The table below encapsulates the preliminary data from the excavation. Date of discovery: estimated number of skeletons. Potential rank in Europe: March 28, 2024. Over 1,000, possibly the largest. As the excavation progresses, the numbers are expected to swell, with some experts predicting the final count to exceed 1,500. Each skeleton is a piece of the puzzle, contributing to a clearer picture of the Black Death's impact on Nuremberg. The discovery is not just about the past, it poses questions and challenges for the present, as the city grapples with the implications of this find on future urban development. Historical detective work unravels the mystery. As the layers of earth were peeled back, a narrative as dark and complex as the soil itself began to emerge. The mass grave, a somber testament to the 14th century pandemic, was not just a burial site. It was a historical document, waiting to be read by those fluent in the language of archaeology. The historical epidemic impact was profound, stretching far beyond the immediate loss of life. The excavation team, acting as historians and detectives, pieced together the puzzle of the past. They meticulously cataloged artifacts and human remains, each item providing a clue to the daily lives and tragic end of the individuals who succumbed to the Black Death. The presence of personal belongings suggested a hasty burial process. Varied strata of soil indicated multiple burial events over time. The absence of valuable items hinted at the social status of the victims. In the silence of the excavation, the echoes of the past spoke volumes. The grave was not just a repository of bones, but a chronicle of human resilience and despair. The data collected painted a picture of a community ravaged by disease, yet the site also offered a glimpse into the resilience of human societies. The Black Death, a name that has echoed through history, left its mark not only in the annals of medicine, but also in the very fabric of urban development. Beneath the city's heart, the Nuremberg Revelation, from World War assumptions to medieval realities. As the dust of the Second World War settled, the city of Nuremberg began to piece together its fragmented history. Yet, beneath the cobblestone streets and reconstructed facades, a different story lay dormant, one that predated the war's scars by centuries. The discovery of a mass grave, replete with the remains of 1,000 souls, peeled back the layers of time to reveal a chapter of medieval community devastation. The initial assumption that the skeletal remains belonged to war casualties quickly gave way to a more ancient narrative. Radiocarbon dating and meticulous archaeological scrutiny pointed to a period when Europe was in the grip of the Black Death. The mass grave, a silent testament to the plague's ruthlessness, was not a relic of modern conflict, but a portal to the 14th century. The sheer number of skeletons unearthed in Nuremberg's heart is a stark reminder of the plague's indiscriminate reach. It whispers of the countless lives cut short and the profound impact on the medieval social fabric. The excavation site, now a nexus of past and present, challenges our understanding of history. It compels us to confront the realities of a time when the line between life and death was perilously thin. The skeletons, each a custodian of a story untold, beckon us to listen and learn from the echoes of their time. The Black Death's shadow over Nuremberg. In the heart of Nuremberg, the Black Death's legacy was more than just a chapter in history books. It was a tangible, somber reality lying dormant beneath the city's bustling streets. The discovery of the mass grave not only confirmed the historical accounts of the plague's ruthlessness, but also brought to light the sheer magnitude of its impact on the city. The excavation unearthed a grim tableau. Thousands of skeletal remains, entwined in their final resting place, a silent testament to the 30% of Nuremberg's population claimed by the plague in the 1630s. The scale of the burial site was unprecedented, with Melanie Langbein of the City of Nuremberg's Department for Heritage Conservation acknowledging the site's enormous importance and the collaborative efforts to extract all possible information. The mass grave serves as a stark reminder of the city's dark times, when the population was besieged not only by disease, but also by the turmoil of military conflicts and economic hardship. The following table encapsulates the harrowing statistics of the plague's toll on Nuremberg. Year deaths attributed to the plague. 1634, 15,000. As the city moves forward, this discovery poses a poignant question. How do we honor the past while paving the way for the future? The answers may lie in the bones of the city's ancestors, whispering stories of resilience and survival. The largest mass grave in European history. The discovery of the Black Death mass grave in Nuremberg has sent ripples through the historical community, potentially redefining our understanding of the plague's impact. With over 1,000 skeletons unearthed and estimates suggesting numbers could rise significantly, this site challenges the Central England mass grave for the grim title of the largest mass burial ground in Europe. The sheer volume of remains speaks to the catastrophic loss of life and the desperate measures taken during the plague's peak. As the excavation continues, the numbers only grow, painting a harrowing picture of medieval Europe in the throes of one of history's deadliest pandemics. The scale of the Nuremberg site is a stark reminder of the Black Death's relentless sweep across the continent, leaving a legacy of death that now, centuries later, is being meticulously uncovered. While the final count is yet to be determined, the current findings suggest that the Nuremberg site may indeed be the largest mass grave ever discovered in Europe. This table summarizes the current state of knowledge. Location estimated number of bodies. Status Nuremberg, Germany. 1,500. Ongoing, largest excavated Central England. 1,000 previously largest. As the excavation progresses, the numbers will be updated, and the full extent of this medieval catastrophe will be brought to light. The science of the shadows. Analyzing the Black Death victims. Radiocarbon dating. Timestamping the tragedy. In the heart of Nuremberg, beneath layers of history, the silent witnesses of a bygone catastrophe lay hidden until a routine survey brought them to light. Radiocarbon dating has become the key to unlocking the secrets of these long-forgotten victims, providing a temporal anchor to their untimely demise. The analysis revealed a startling synchronicity between the artifacts unearthed and the skeletal remains. Coins and pottery, silent companions in burial whispered of the 1620s, a time rife with the plague's shadow. The precision of radiocarbon dating narrowed the period of death to a span of over a century, with the skeletons dating from 1474 to 1638. This range intriguingly overlaps with historical accounts of plague outbreaks, particularly the devastating wave between 1632 and 1633. The mass grave, a somber mosaic of life interrupted, may indeed be one of the largest ever found in Europe, a testament to the plague's ruthless sweep through Nuremberg. The convergence of historical records and scientific analysis paints a vivid picture of a community in crisis, grappling with a tide of death that demanded swift and unceremonious interment. The data gleaned from the site not only provides a timestamp for the tragedy, but also offers a glimpse into the societal turmoil of the time. The burial practices, or lack thereof, reflect a period of overwhelming mortality, where the sheer number of victims necessitated a departure from traditional Christian burial rites. Forensic artistry breathes life into history. In the shadows of the past, forensic artistry emerges as a beacon of light, offering a glimpse into the lives of those long gone. The meticulous work of experts like Cicero Moraes bridges the gap between history and the present, transforming skeletal remains into faces we can recognize and connect with. The power of this discipline lies in its ability to humanize the abstract numbers and statistics of historical tragedies. Through the careful analysis of bone structure and the application of digital modeling, forensic artists can reconstruct the visages of individuals who succumbed to the Black Death. This process not only provides a visual representation of the victims, but also serves as a tool for investigating historical phenomena, such as the case of the Italian vampire, believed to have been buried with a brick in her mouth to prevent her from haunting the living. The art of forensic reconstruction is not just about crafting an image. It's about restoring identity to the nameless and giving voice to their silent stories. The following table outlines the key steps in forensic facial reconstruction. Step description 1. Skull analysis. Examination of the skull to determine age, sex, and ancestry. 2. Muscle mapping application of muscle structure to the skull based on anatomical standards. 3. Feature approximation estimation of the nose, lips, and eyes following tissue depth markers. 4. Digital modeling creation of a 3D digital model of the face. 5. Refinement adjustments made to the model for accuracy and realism. Each step is a careful dance between science and art, ensuring that the final product is as accurate as possible. The reconstructed faces are not just scientific exhibits, but poignant reminders of the individuals who once lived, loved, and ultimately were lost to the ravages of the plague. The plague's toll, estimating the final count. As the excavation of the Nuremberg site progresses, the sheer number of Black Death victims unearthed paints a harrowing picture of the past. The medieval plague victims, once mere statistics in historical texts, now emerge as tangible evidence of the pandemic's ruthless sweep through Europe. The task of estimating the final count of those who succumbed to the plague is both a scientific endeavor and a somber reflection on human vulnerability. The layers of earth are slowly peeled back to reveal the magnitude of the tragedy that befell Nuremberg. Each skeleton, each artifact, whispers a story of the life that once was and the crisis that engulfed it. The initial estimates, cautiously optimistic, have been continuously revised as the dig reveals its grim secrets. A note from 1634, detailing a plague outbreak, suggests a staggering number of deaths that could mean the site holds the remains of up to 2,000 souls. This figure, if accurate, would not only underscore the severity of the epidemic, but also potentially mark the site as one of the largest mass graves in European history. Year of epidemic estimated deaths. Percentage of Nuremberg's population, 1632 to 1633, 15,030%. The numbers, while informative, fail to fully convey the human cost of the Black Death. Each digit in the table represents a life cut short, a family torn apart, and a community forever altered. The work continues, with experts meticulously analyzing each layer of history, determined to honor the memory of those who perished by telling their story. A morbid discovery amidst modern progress construction plans. Interrupted by the dead, in the heart of Nuremberg, a city layered with history, the past clawed its way back into the present. A construction company intent on erecting a new retirement home was halted by the echoes of a bygone era. The ground beneath their feet, destined for development, cradled over 1,000 souls, a silent testament to the Black Death's ruthless passage. The discovery was made adjacent to the St. Sebastian nursing home, where an obligatory archaeological survey unearthed more than just soil and stone. Melanie Langbine, the city archaeologist, and her team were met with the grim sight of skeletons meticulously arranged in a mass grave. The site, a canvas of mortality, painted a harrowing picture of the plague's urgency. Adults were stacked methodically, a grim jigsaw puzzle of death. Children's remains nestled between them, spaces filled with innocence lost. The rush of burials, a stark indicator of the epidemic's overwhelming tide. The workers, confronted with the magnitude of their find, were gripped by an ineffable dread. The site, now a nexus of past and future, demanded respect and remembrance, halting progress in its tracks. As the days unfolded, the construction site transformed into a crucible of history and science. The living, faced with the remnants of the dead, found their plans entwined with the narratives of those who once walked the same ground. The implications of this discovery would ripple through time, challenging the city's heartbeat with every shovel turned. The challenge of excavating amidst high-density burials. The archaeological discovery in Nuremberg has presented a unique set of challenges for the team at Terra Veritas. The sheer number of interred bodies, coupled with the urgency of their burial centuries ago, has resulted in a tightly packed tableau of history, where adults and children are interwoven in a macabre mosaic beneath the city's heart. The arrangement of skeletons, with adults stacked and children nestled in between, speaks volumes of the desperate times that led to such a hasty interment process. To navigate this archaeological revelation, experts have had to employ innovative techniques. Improvised bridges span the excavation site, allowing archaeologists to move carefully over the delicate remains without disturbing the final resting place of so many souls. This methodical approach is not only a mark of respect for the deceased, but also a necessity to maintain the integrity of the site for scientific analysis. The following points highlight the excavation's intricacies. Adaptation of excavation methods to accommodate the high density of burials. Preservation of the site's integrity for future generations and scholarly work. Respectful handling of human remains, acknowledging the historical significance of the mass grave. This discovery may indeed be one of the largest mass graves in European history, a somber testament to the Black Death's shadow over Nuremberg. The implications for future urban development. The discovery of the Black Death mass grave in Nuremberg not only sheds light on a dark chapter of history, but also casts a long shadow on the future of urban development. The integration of archaeological considerations into urban planning has become an imperative. As cities expand and modernize, the risk of disturbing historical sites increases, necessitating a balance between progress and preservation. The implications are manifold. Urban developers must now navigate the delicate interplay of construction and conservation. This is not merely a matter of respecting the past, but also of understanding the sustainable impact of urban expansion on the very fabric of history. The research into the effects of urban expansion on archaeological sites is ongoing, and the findings from Nuremberg could serve as a pivotal case study. The challenge is to ensure that the whispers of history are not silenced by the roar of development. In light of these developments, a structured approach to urban planning is essential. Below is a list of considerations that must be taken into account. Comprehensive archaeological surveys before any ground is broken. Collaboration between construction companies and heritage agencies. Development of contingency plans for unexpected discoveries. Public engagement and education about the historical significance of sites legislation. to protect archaeological finds. As we move forward, the lessons learned from Nuremberg will undoubtedly influence urban development strategies worldwide, ensuring that history and progress can coexist. In the shadow of technological advancements and digital evolution, we sometimes stumble upon chilling reminders of the past. Our latest article, A Morbid Discovery Amidst Modern Progress, delves into the unexpected intersection of history and progress. As we peel back the layers of time, we invite you to join us on this intriguing journey. Don't let the past be forgotten. Explore the full story and more on our website. Embark on a digital odyssey with us and master the online landscape today. Unearthing history's shadows, the Black Death mass grave in Nuremberg. As the sun sets on the excavation site in Nuremberg, a silent witness to the ravages of time emerges from the earth. The discovery of what may be Europe's largest mass grave, a somber testament to the Black Death's merciless sweep, is a poignant reminder of our shared human fragility. The meticulous work of archaeologists, unearthing the skeletal remains of up to 2,000 souls, bridges the chasm of centuries, offering a glimpse into the harrowing days of the 1632 to 1633 plague epidemic. This revelation, amidst the backdrop of modern life's march, serves as a solemn narrative of resilience, a chronicle of a city's past agony, and a stark memento of the enduring spirit that has, time and again, triumphed over the darkest of plagues. How many people are believed to be buried in the Nuremberg mass grave? Archaeologists estimate that as many as 2,000 people were buried in the mass grave during a wave of the plague in the 17th century. What led to the discovery of the mass grave in Nuremberg? The mass grave was discovered during a routine archaeological survey ahead of the construction of new retirement homes. What was the initial hypothesis about the graves, and what did further research reveal? Initially, it was thought that the graves were from the World War II bombing of Nuremberg in 1943, but radiocarbon dating indicated they dated from the late 15th to early 17th century, revealing they were victims of the Black Death. Could the Nuremberg plague grave be the largest burial site in European history? Yes, the plague grave in Nuremberg could potentially be the largest mass burial site ever seen in Europe, with the possibility of containing more than 1,500 people. How are archaeologists managing to excavate the site given the high density of burials? Archaeologists had to work from improvised bridges to handle the excavation process due to the high density of burials. What does the discovery of the mass grave imply for future urban development in the area? The discovery of the mass grave has interrupted construction plans, presenting challenges for excavation, and raising questions about how to proceed with urban development while respecting historical findings. Links are in the description below for SEO. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey through history with heroes. If you enjoyed uncovering the mysteries of the past, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with fellow history enthusiasts. Subscribe to our channel for more intriguing discoveries and insights into the world of archaeology and ancient civilizations. Together, let's continue to explore the stories of heroes from the past who shaped the course of human history. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring with heroes.